It all began on a Saturday night. I was in preparation of the monthly Bro Night, which was being held at my house. I got everything needed to host a wild party. A 30-pack of Sprite, Jack's Cheese Puffs, and a good horror movie. Since I was hosting this get-together, I had the privilege of planning the prank for the night. Luckily for me, I had an expert on my side. Spencer and I had thought of an ingenious prank. Once everybody had arrived, we sat down and began the movie. Now, if you have ever seen an ostrich try and hide by sticking its head in the ground, you have a pretty good idea of how Joey was sitting during the opening credits of the film. He was sitting all alone on the side sofa, turned away from the TV, under a blanket, and reading the plot of the movie on his phone. Fred, lying on the sofa across from Joey, was very open-minded about the movie. I couldn't tell if he was excited, scared, or asleep. Tanner, Spencer, and I were on the middle sofa. Tanner and I were very optimistic about the movie, as we enjoyed a good horror film. Spencer, on the other hand, not so much. He was curled up in a ball saying, "I hate scary movies. I hate scary movies." Every 5 seconds. Now we get to Nick. Nick was lying on the floor squeezing a pillow. He had 2 blankets which he would repeatedly pull over his face and then take off to get food. Whenever something scary would happen, Nick would set up in the ghost defense stance, which consisted of closing your eyes, plugging your ears, and forcing a smile on your face to make you think of happy thoughts. Whenever a scary scene would be over, Nick would beg, "Can we pause it? I really need a break." Now that you have a good sense of the energy in the room, we can get to the main event of the night. Fred and Joey had already fallen asleep, and everybody else was lying down to do the same. Nick, being the brave soul he is, decided he would sleep all alone on the floor, right next to Spencer, who was sleeping on the sofa. This is when Spencer and my plan kicked into action. A few hours earlier, I had downloaded an app, Fright Timer. This app had various scary sounds that I could set off to go on a timer. I picked the sound of a little girl saying, "They're here," in a ghoulish voice, and set it to go off in 10 minutes. I went to turn out the lights, and in doing so, I slipped my phone under the sofa Nick was sleeping next to. Then returned to bed. "What the hell?" Nick jumped up, ran, and hugged Spencer. Amazingly, Spencer and I kept our cool and didn't laugh at his babyish screech. After many shed tears and a lot of talking down, we managed to convince Nick he was hearing things, and we all went back to bed. Except this time, Nick wasn't so brave. He insisted that he sleep right next to one of us. So after debating on the subject for nearly 20 minutes, we decided we would all sleep in separate sleeping bags next to each other, which is when phase 2 kicked into action. I set the noise again, except this time I set it to go off in a low, demon-like voice, mumbling about something. Now I tactically placed this off to the side of the room so Nick wouldn't suspect me of doing it. When this went off, Spencer and I had heard it and pretended we were scared by the noise. As for Nick, he looked like he had just seen a ghost. Oh, wait a minute, he thought he had. By this time, Joey had woken up by all the commotion and thought we were all faking the story to try and scare him. But he was soon brought into reality when I set the noise for the 3rd and final time. When the final one went off, all hell broke loose in the room. Joey, panicking because there was no plot for him to look up for this movie, resulted in retreating under the blanket with Nick and setting up in the ghost defense. Eyes closed, ears plugged, and a forced smile on your face. Now Nick still doesn't know that the noises he'd heard were all planned by Spencer and me, which is probably why he told me he's never coming to my house again. A few things I've learned after experiencing this night are never try and scare Spencer, or you might get punched in the face and get a bloody nose. When Nick asks for a break, give it to him, or he might take a full bag of chips, dump them on the floor, just so you have to pause the movie to clean them off. And finally, finally, Fred can sleep through anything.